Let's start with the situation in the world. And we have a situation there in Ukraine. The Russians have incorporated two of the provinces of Ukraine into the Russian Empire. Okay, so let's all pull out the champagne bottles and celebrate. Okay, and like I said in the past, I'm saying this war has nothing to do with Ukraine. Okay, this war is against Germany. Germany lost the First World War, lost the Second World War. Germany is going to lose this war as well. This is a loss for Germany. And here you have Scholz. He's the Chancellor of Germany, and others like the Prime Minister, the President, right? And he says that Germany has taken steps to halt the certification of Nord Stream 2, which is a gas pipeline that comes from Russia all the way to Germany. And it was about to be certified, but now they're going to postpone it. And it's important to know that the head of that project is a fellow known as Schrodinger, who was Chancellor of Germany in the past and good friend of Scholz. And so I'm sure they're not very happy with the fact that the United States is imposing this on them. It's like a lose-lose situation for Germany. And you can see there it says pressure from the United States. And a pipeline bringing natural gas from Russia to Germany increases Europe's reliance on Russian energy supplies. That's what the United States fears, that Germany might fall too much or too far into the Russian sphere. It's already fallen into the Chinese sphere because China is its number one partner as far as business is concerned. And so you can see that the United States is a little worried about that. And there are situations where, for example, the United States wants to punish either Russia or China. And I'll just give an example. Let's say the United States says to China, we're not going to sell any more cars to you. And then Germany steps in and says, oh, we can sell you some cars. We'll send you some Mercedes-Benz or whatever. And so that's what the United States wants to stop. The United States wants Germany on board with the other 50 stars. Okay, and not only Germany but France, essentially France and Germany. I think those are going to be the big losers this time around. And yeah, because in the case of Russia, it's already made some pacts with China. So I think Russia has somewhat a solution to its problems, its economic problems. Not completely, this is going to hurt them, but they have at least resolved some of the issues before they went into the Ukraine. But France and Germany, I don't know, they're going to have to switch their economics, adjusted so that they fall more in line with the United States empire. And so it's going to be interesting what's going to happen in the next few years, if we make it that far. And all I can say is, on the other hand, you got to look at the United States. And I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. The worst thing that can happen to the world right now is for the U.S. economy, for the American economy to collapse. If the United States economy collapses, we are all dead. Okay, and so right now we got to do everything possible in our power to prop up the U.S. economy. I don't care what your political leanings are. That's what we got to do. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Okay, and here you see a version of that. Not mine. This is from the New York Times. Leonhardt, he writes the following. He says, political freedom has declined every year since 2006. Democracies are in decline, and that's all over the world. Okay, and that says that U.S. and Europe are struggling to lift living standards. Okay, so this is an important point. And I guess one of the reasons for that is primarily Europe is already completely developed. There's not much more you can develop here in Europe in the next few years. Yeah, you can expand some services. You can maybe expand a little bit your manufacturing, but it's all done. It's like if you want to put a new business, what are you going to put? A car company and compete against the big corporations that exist around the planet already distributing cars? It's going to be very tough for you to beat those big companies. Aside from the fact that they might buy you off from the start and just neutralize you if you have some good product. And there it says major political parties behaving in anti-democratic ways. And this fellow apparently has a beef against the Republican Party. He put that as an example. But his last statement there, that's the one that really gets through to you. It says the American-led order is in deep crisis. Okay, now, of course, you may not agree with what this fellow is saying. But all I can tell you is you don't want the U.S. economy to fall apart. And one of the problems you've got there is that empires do need to expand. If they don't expand, like the Roman Empire, once it reached the borders of the barbarians, they got stopped. And what was interesting, they hired a lot of these German, barbarian generals, and some of them eventually ended up attacking Rome. So you figure out how this is going to play out. And that's in one side. There's another issue that was popular these last couple of weeks, in fact, and it's this lady. Her name is Gu. She's a skier for China, but she was born in the United States, raised and educated in the United States, but she competed for China. And Nikki Haley, who was ambassador to the UN, she was really upset at that, and like many other people as well. And they're saying that she weighed in on American-born skier and Beijing game star Eileen Gu. Haley said Gu needs to pick a side between the U.S. and China. Every athlete needs to know when they put their flag on, you're standing for freedom or you're standing for human rights abuses. So she didn't like the fact that Gu, who's from California, speaks perfect English, went there and got medals for the other side. How can you do this? Okay. And all I can give you is my take on this, and that's that all these sports games, they should remove nations from it completely. We got this from the city-states in Greece, where each city-state was a country. It was all the pals, all the buddies in our hometown, and that was a nation, the city-state. And so when they got together, everybody fought for the city-state. But that was, over 2,000 years ago. Today, you would think that we've evolved from that. And it turns out we still have nations today, and people fight for the nation. Now, that's okay in a military way. You want to fight for your country, go ahead and, fight for your country. But in sports, should we have nations in sports? When Argentina and Brazil play soccer, it's a big deal. And they start the game by playing the national anthems. And they do this all over the world when two nations play. And the question is, are these 22 players on the field, are they doing it for the country, or should they be doing it for sports, for the hell of playing, of having fun and having a good time? And the same for the Olympics. In the case of the Super Bowl or World Series, they only play one national anthem. I never understood why. But the issue is, should we have nationality into sports? And I think that's where the problem begins. If we didn't have nationality into sports, there wouldn't be any sabotage or anything like that. People would just go to China or to Russia or to the United States and just have a good time, and everybody just watches the best athletes on the planet. It would be great if we could get nationality out of the whole picture. No flags, just an individual medal. If you want to have a medal contest for medal or for prizes or whatever, that's fine. But it's when you put the flag into sports, I think that's when trouble starts. So I think all flags should be removed from sports, and people should just have a good time and play for the fun of it. And then if we're not worried about the country, then maybe we get that off our backs and we can play better in the field. But if people are thinking, oh, what is my country going to think of me? And it turns out, you listen to your anthem, you put your hand in the heart, and then when your team loses, they go and lynch you. Your own countrymen go lynch